Good afternoon to your brothers and sisters. I saw a video in which Akufo Addo was talking about United Nations must pay a reparation to the African people. But I'm here to ask Akufo Addo simple questions. Is he the spokesperson for the entire Africans? Because he's talking about reparation, right? Is he speaking for the families that were affected? Because we know the people in Africa who parade themselves as royals. We have some people in Africa who think that they are so special and they think they are blood. They call themselves, royal, lineage, and they think they are special people. Akufo Addo, you can't speak for them. And you can't speak for the entire Africans. You think that money will be given to the African leaders for you guys to spend it. So when he's talking about reparation must be paid to the Africans, he is talking in terms of United Nations giving African leaders money for them to spend the money on behalf of the family members that were affected. When the Europeans came to Africa to trade, we know the people in Africa who participated in slavery. Some of the so-called leaders, their ancestors were participants. Their ancestors connived with the Europeans and the Americans to sell our ancestors as slaves. Today, this same person is at the United Nations, telling United Nations to give the African people, to pay them reparation. And I'm here asking Akufo Addo, are you speaking for the Nigerians? You see, if you come to the United States here, almost 90% of the black people in the United States here come from Nigeria. And that is a fact. The people that they brought from Africa to the United States here, almost 90% were from Nigeria. So even the Nigerians are not speaking up. And you can check the largest tribes that they took into slavery. You can check, it is there. United Nations have it. The largest 10 tribes in Africa that these Europeans bought as slaves. You can check. The first one, they come from Congo. Then the second, third, fourth come from Nigeria. You can check it. If you think that I'm joking, you can check it. And it is there. So Akufo Addo, you are not a spokesperson for the entire African continent. I know that you are a very corrupt man. Should the Europeans or United Nations give money to Africans, you African leaders will capitalize on that money and spend it. And the affected family, when these Europeans came to Africa, for the past 500 years, those affected families are still poor. And in fact, they've gone through a lot. They've gone through a lot. Poverty everywhere because, they conquered their people, conquered their ancestors. Until date, they have not been able to recover from that slave trade. And as we're talking, these people are in Africa struggling. If you go to Ghana or Nigeria or the African continent, the people who think that they are special, let me tell you, in this 21st century or in our generation, you see the kind of nonsense that they practice, calling it royalty. That's not the ancient culture. No African is a slave. No African is a slave. If you look at our skin color, or you pick our skin, our skin is not encoded with slavery. For people to tell us that they are royals, for them to be practicing nonsense, for them to engage Europeans and for them to connive with Europeans to sell our ancestors. So I'm telling Akufo Addo, you are not a spokesperson. You don't even have the right to speak. Doesn't that man come from the so-called royal family? When they are saying Akufo Addo come from a royal family, when they mention a name, his name is even Nana, meaning that he come from a royal family, right? You don't have the right to speak on our behalf. When your ancestors connive with Europeans to betray Africans, today you are at United Nations telling the African people, telling the United Nations that they should pay, and when they are paying the money, whom are they going to give the money to? The African family members. And even where are the family members that were affected? I think if you go to various communities, they can tell you, because we know people who call certain group of people as slaves. So those people supposed to benefit. Those people, when we were betraying them, thinking that we were selling our own brothers and sisters as slaves, because they were not human beings. Today we can tell you that they are the good people having good life over here. Those that we betrayed, in fact, are having a better life in the United States here. They are having a very good life in the United States here. And the very people who call themselves royals are today passing through poverty cycle. I'm telling you, the people that we betrayed 500 years ago, thinking that we were selling them into slavery perpetually and we were harming them, today they are having a better life here. Everybody want to come to the United States. Everybody want to leave Africa. There is a curse on us. I have done a video about this. The Africans, we have never asked for forgiveness for participating in slavery. The very wicked ancestors, those calling themselves royals, they are the most wicked among the African tribes, because they connive with the Europeans, to do that kind of barbaric slave trade. Today, they are coming out telling the whole Africans and the whole black people that the United Nations has to reparate the Africans. And I'm asking, if they are to pay the money, who is going to take the money? Are they going to pay the money to the politicians, the very corrupt politicians who are subjecting Africans into poverty? Are they going to give that money to them? If they are to pay the reparation, who is going to receive money and who is not going to receive money? If they ask that Africans should submit names of people who will receive reparation, I can tell you that these so-called chiefs, the very people who call themselves royals, will submit their family members. Sometimes it baffles me when these Americans return back to Ghana or Nigeria. Do you know the people that they greet? Instead of them to go to their lineage, they have their lineage lands, they're supposed to go there, and then they go to the very people who connived with the Europeans, that they go there to greet them. That is a curse. Hey, there are black people here. You guys must learn common sense. If you are going back to Ghana, don't go and greet them. We have enemies among ourselves, and I can tell you that we have the bad ones who don't want people to have freedom. And for them, they want to be royals. They want to enslave people for the rest of their lives. For that one, I can confidently tell you that we have wicked black people among us. And they are the reason why we are struggling across the entire globe. The wicked black ones. And they are the wolves in the sheep. And for them, they are so wicked. They don't want to see us prospering. For them, they want people to be worshiping them. That is why today, when you see youths talking about the politicians and the leaders must do something to help the society, then they will turn up and say, this guy is uncultured, this guy is untrained. They don't want people to speak up. And all that they want from us is worshiping them. That's all that they want. So for this wicked Akufo Addo, this puppet of a man called Akufo Addo, to tell United Nations to pay African reparation, then we ask them, they're going to pay that reparation to who? Hey, if they are to give trillions of dollars, when they calculated, even in the United States here, if they are to give reparation to United States, it will cost not less than 20-something trillion dollars. And that is going to crash American economy. They can't even do that. Since they asked for reparation, they haven't been able to settle that because they need trillions of dollars to do that. If they are to settle the blacks in America here, it is going to take all the money in America, and they can't do that. So for the Africans to come out and say they are going to pay their reparation, then they should tell us. Requesting for a compensation is not my problem, but I wish America and the West should not think of giving any physical. That is why I'm talking about. For Akufo Addo, to talk about they should give us reparation. That wicked evil of a man, and calling himself Nana, the name Nana is even attached to his name, and they were the people who connived. His ancestors connived to the Europeans to sell us as slaves. They parade themselves in Africa as royals, and they see other Africans as slaves. Hey, if you're an African and your fellow black man decide to call you slave, Beat the hell out of that motherfucker. Look, if you see any stupid African, and I'm using that term stupid, calling you a slave and calling himself a royal, if you can beat him, beat the hell out of that person. Nobody's a slave. Hey, nature does not recognize any slave. You know, that kind of nonsense chieftaincy institution, whereby people think that there is an entitlement in a particular family, you must come from that family, there is a stool that you have to be, and this particular clan, then you have to be, no. The nature does not recognize that. Nature is not in support of that. When the Europeans came to Africa, you know, they were using that to do nonsense in Africa, and nature did. That is why nature allows slavery to take place. You calling yourself a royal and you calling a certain group of people slaves. Are you crazy? In this 21st century, who will be called a slave and who will be called a royal? We shouldn't entertain this kind of nonsense in Africa. We should not. So if you see your fellow African calling you a slave, if you have the strength, please beat the hell out of the person who is calling you slave. Look, if you look at my skin, do you see slave here? Our skins are not encoded with slaves. So for somebody to tell you that you are a slave, if you have the strength, beat the person into pulp, simple as ABC. And don't allow any black person look down upon you. Simple as ABC. Because of that kind of primitive thought, and because of that behavior, that is why people take advantage of us. Today, the very wicked people whose ancestors connive with the Europeans are telling the United Nations to pay reparation. To pay reparation to who? The very people that they call slaves who know their families. And they are everywhere in Africa. People even use that as a jargon. When people use that to play as a playmate. When I was in the north, I saw that this particular group will say, "You are my slave." This is "You are my slave," and they use that as a play. But that is not. We know them, and they are there. They are there. If they are to pay them, they must come to those people and ask them for forgiveness because they have offended their family. I'm telling you. And that curse is upon us. The reason why we don't have good leaders, we have wicked leaders, is that the way Africans connive with the Europeans, it has brought a very serious curse on us. And if we don't do something about this, we need a very serious sacrifice. We need to pacify the land, the African continent. We have to pacify the land because we have done the very sinful crime against the entire African continent. And the African people think that, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. That is why we are struggling. That is why we are suffering. No, that was what took place 500 years, 400 years ago. That is not. And we should speak against it. Simple as ABC. And those whose ancestors participated, we must eradicate all of them. We don't need them. Simple as ABC. They are evil people. We don't need them. You see, we shouldn't sit down and allow certain group of people, because of their parochial interests, invite invaders or enemies to come and conquer us. Those who invited them, there are certain people, they dine with these people and they think that is a good thing. We should eliminate them. We don't need them. And for the continent to grow and for us to gain our freedom, we should look around and check all the continent and see the very people who are still participating and that nonsense. We must eliminate them. You see, the Chinese, if you want to learn something from the Chinese people, I encourage you can start from their history and from 1932. You will learn something from the Chinese. I took my time to study something about the Chinese. How the Chinese gained their freedom, how the Chinese were able to overcome oppression, how they were able to overcome imperialism. We can learn from there, and it's going to help us. We must identify the wolves among the Africans. There are certain people who are dining with our enemies, certain people giving before these people were able to conquer, the Africans, they betray, it was so great, the Moors, the black Moors, gave African secrets to these people. We have a secret, There are plenty secret on the surface of this planet. If you come to the United States here, they practice Freemason and the Illuminati. That is where you get the original secret. It was the Moors that brought that kind of society here. They brought that society here, and they brought the African secret. They gave out our secret to them, and they use our own secret against us. That is all it is. They use our own secret against us. That was why they were able to conquer us. So we should fish out the odd people among us, our own enemies. A lot of people are our own enemies. Do you know that we have spies, black people who are spies for these people? And for people to conquer you, there must be spies among your own race. So among our own race, we have criminal people, devilish people, demonic people among us who work for our own enemies. You must fish them out. If you are calling yourself a royal and you think your fellow human being is a slave, you know the reason why they were able to wipe out the so-called traditional system in our country. Now they don't have power. Yes. You know why? Somebody is telling you somebody is a royal and they have a stool. And what is even that stool made up of? A blood, and a family witchcraft. They have to craft that stool. They have to use a tree, craft it. Then they have to use a blood. They coat the blood and then they put in witchcraft. That is either the person is a witch or wizard. So when they are performing their nonsense called festivals and they carry that kind of stool on their, and let me tell you, that is not spirituality. It has nothing to do with spirituality. It has, that is a witchcraft. They carry it and say, oh, that is why, if you are from a family and in that family, the particular witchcraft in that family, you can't trespass into that. That is why they say this is a royal and you must come from that. You must be related. You must come from that family before you can sit on the stool. That is a pure witchcraft. That is not coming from any Egypt. That is not our ancient culture. That was something that they formulated in the 14th, 15th, 12th century in order to control our own people. So that is not a system that we need. Today, because of democracy, anybody at all is qualified to become a president. You want to become a president, right? But you are also qualified to become a president. To become a president, it doesn't require any bloodline. It doesn't require anybody to come from a particular family. It doesn't have a quality of you coming from a royal line. Anybody at all is qualified to become a leader in that country. And that is all that we need. We all have the equal right. Right? You are a human being, you have a brain, I have a brain. They won't give a brain to you because you come from a family and they call that family as a bloodline. The sun, nobody on the surface of this planet can claim the sun as his family property. Okay, and that is the actual power in the universe. It supplies us eternal energy. It is the everlasting energy. It is the everlasting power that is there. And no human race, no human group can claim that this sun belongs to us. It is for all of us, right? So if there is a power, and that power is among our race, that power must belong to all of us. Individuals cannot craft a witchcraft and claim that is a royalty. That is why they were able to conquer us. This is a royalty, and it was like they were at war fighting, blah, blah, blah. And this one was snitch. This one was give information. This one this, and they use that against us. We don't need that. We don't need this in this 21st century. With unity, we can conquer. With unity, we can do a lot of things for ourselves. But if we are divided and people claiming you are a royal, right, and you see your other fellow human being, and you see, if you go to Ghana, very dumb people occupying so-called stool, very dumb, uneducated people with brain dead people who can't even think. Just imagine having a brain dead ass person on a stool, calling himself as a chief or a royal person. And do you think this person will be able to help a whole community? The brain is not there. The brain is not connected. This person is not connected. The person is only connected to the witchcraft from the family. that person is only connected to the witchcraft from the family. And the person is not connected to the external energy that belongs to all of us. So they've crafted a stool and saying that that stool belongs to a particular group of people, and that was what they used to colonize, or that they used to enslave our ancestors. So for Akufo Addo, who called himself Nana, that Nana Adodankwa Akufo Addo, and they are saying that he came from a royal family, you don't have, even Tender should have struck him down when he was requesting that the United Nations should pay Africans. Tender should have struck him there. Yes, that is what it is. Because your ancestors participated. Your ancestors were participants. Your ancestors did that. Your ancestors betrayed the black race. Today you are here calling for reparation. And when they give that money, the same people will take the money. And you, the African Americans and those in the Caribbean and the black people in general, anytime that you visit home, don't visit these wicked people. Their ancestors did that to you guys. When you come back home, you have a lot of poor people in Ghana. Those people, they don't even respect them. You can visit those areas and greet them. Don't go and greet any chief. They don't have good intention for you guys. They don't. That is why they have never asked for forgiveness, though they participated, and they think nothing's wrong. In this 21st century, if you allow them, they will still engage in slavery. In this 21st century, if you allow these people, they will still engage in slavery. And that's why it is. In this 21st century, we have some individuals in Africa and in Ghana. They put their hands on their chest and claim a whole community that belongs to them. How come an individual claim that a particular city, a particular town belongs to him? That is for me. And an individual will be saying that. And that is what it is. So they still have that primitive thought in their minds. We don't need these people. And they don't have the right to come here. They don't have the right to come here and tell United Nations that we need reparation. When they are talking about that, they are talking about reparation so that they will give money to them. They will put that money into their pocket. The family members or the families that were affected, they won't give any money to them all. And the people whose ancestors participated in slavery will still take that money. So we don't want that. So United Nations, look, should they talk about reparation and they are talking about, we'll write a letter to them. But hey, if you want to give money to the people that were affected, because not all of them were affected. Some were parading themselves as royals and special people. So the very families that were affected, you should send that money to them directly. And they are there. We know them. Even till they don't even respect them. They still point fingers at them and be calling them nonsense names. Yes. I went to Ghana and somebody said something nonsense to me, that they captured somebody's ancestor, that they went to war and captured that person and put that person into a sack. And I said, you are telling me this nonsense. I said, don't provoke me. I was very angry. And I said, I don't take nonsense. And you think that is powerful? That is kidnapping and that is criminal. And if in this 21st century, can you go to a community and capture somebody, put that person into a cocoa sack, and then bring that person to your home or your family and enslave that person? You go to prison. And you are justifying the criminality of your ancestors, telling me that was your ancestors were powerful. How is it powerful? That is kidnapping. How come today, if you kidnap somebody, then they have to come after you? That your ancestors were kidnappers. They were fucking kidnappers. So telling me that your ancestors kidnap people and you are justifying thinking that you are powerful, you are a fool. If you think that you have power, try that today and let's see what will happen to you. You can go to those communities and try, I don't know what they do. If you are a child or a baby and you're walking around, no one is around, then they kidnap you. They kidnap you. Then they bring you to their community. Then they enslave you. You can't do that kind of nonsense in this 21st century. That's what they did. A lot of people, they captured them by force. They have to put them into the ship and they brought them here. So if we are to talk about reparation, then we have a very long way to go. Because we can describe in detail what happened and the people that you call them slaves, the slave families, they are still there. Akufo Addo, you have no moral right to talk about it. if in Kenya, I quite remember, group of people took the British government to court. That when they came, they enslaved their ancestors. I saw a video, and it was on BBC. So they took the British government to court, and they won the case. That is to compensate them. That is, you can't come to our community and create disunity. They brought confusion, ended up enslaving us. That we need fucking reparation. They have to compensate. They have to pay us. They took them to court, and the families that were affected. And not a family that is calling themselves royals. They're calling themselves royals. We don't need those fucking people. We don't want them. Simple as ABC. I'm telling you the truth here. And all those calling themselves royals, they are not connected to the divine source. Listen to me. I can tell you much about Bono Manso, what happened in Bono Manso. When the so-called accounts were there, what happened? The very entity or the very power that brought us, that power was in the sky, and it landed with a plate. That plate, the size is about if you see this satellite dish, for about 5 different sizes of satellite dish, putting them together, and that thing descended from the sky, and it was an entity. Then they committed against that, and it went back. So if you go to that place today as we're talking, the plate is still there. And we have quotes written, the white people have come to the place to interpret, and they can't read anything because that words are the words of energies. And it went away. Today, all the nonsense that they are parading themselves, calling themselves chiefs, and it is not connected. Nothing is connected. It is family witchcraft. Listen to me. All the families, especially when they tell you Akunja Wei, Akunja Tuntum, that is a family witchcraft. It has nothing to do with any power. Listen to me. It has nothing to do with natural power, the cosmic power. It has nothing to do with that. It has something to do with selfish interest, their own selfish interest, because they use that against people. They use that to enslave people. And nature is not connected to that nonsense. I'm telling you that. That is the truth that I'm telling you. We have to throw that nonsense away. You have to throw them away. You can't create a system, a witchcraft system, and use that to oppress your own people and turn around and be asking for reparation. And nobody has sent him Akufo Addo. Nobody has sent him. In life of Akufo Addo, he wants everything in life on silver platter. Yes, that man is just a joke. Akufo Addo, you are not a spokesperson for anybody. And no one has appointed you. The oppressed in our society, the very people that they oppressed, the very people that they enslaved. Abusiyama me konkan kyerɛ me ma no sɛ ombedi agoro wɔ abɔntene. Mepɛ sɛ ombedi agoro wɔ awiam hɔ anti me de to ana mafrɔ maba. Abusiyama me ba. Me ba meka twi me ba. Abusiya. Ma yento aso a. Sister Phoebe amedase. Say mama star amedase pa. Mama nka twi na monte ase. Empacho. Hwe. Me say ehemfo na o motete Ghana ye from ohemfo no. Kundwa bia ni Ghana connected to divine source. Me kana kwa kire mu play. Ayo mo selfish interest. Ene bayi a educate sa na ma no. Ene kofa ye nko asom de ba ye no. Muntie me. See, you're Egypt now. Now, there is nothing called say your soul be oni petty soul. The only practice no a new bibi or man I create you. And that is not spirituality. Spirituality and kamya de free nipa ho. Ono baka just say your royals free fi ho wura fi ho hunu nothing about that kunga. E be ye ni akrafte. E yo bi ba ye e no ma crafte. Enti nana simase kunga, nana simasi, nana buruwa, nana kuruwa, nana adwa, na mensa na kodwo eye baye na yakrafo dia hyehye and the swana de nsuo pete so na honhom na bam na woso eye baye. It has nothing to do with the divine source. Man, I'm coming through. It has nothing to do with the divine source. And it has something to do with divine source. No, abosom na wo na abosom akesa no divine source. But the munkundwa na edwutwa na ema guso na ye de bayi ahihye bu no. It has nothing to do with the divine source. Man, I'm coming through. Me say that is what it is. Akufo Addo unu kwan so ba United Nations. Now ba catch United Nations say omuntua reparation. Omutua ma hwan omo de ma Africa for ben. The reparation ma Africa ni ben e ma na reparation. Akufo Addo. Enkrofo aye enslave wo ma yenu momo. Oba fie bo ma yenu momo aye enslave wo mo. Wo na wo kremu hu say wo ye royal no, you have no right. Wo ye curse kura. Wunte imagine United Nations e meka se yen reparty ni emfasika na mana muni ana. Mo pese mo peka se no me na diance no. Ye pe no me no say be diance forever me boa. Akufo Addo. Eno me na da bi before so. Enti wiase obi amfa ya nya hwe no. Mo fi se ye pesa no me na na. Wo nananom ne wo ancestors ne konafo ye. Ye tuto nipa cheche nipa. Ede nipa baaye. Enamo sa ankrofo ye ai. Enkrofo a mo bitire wo mo nananom bitire wo mo. Edi nkwase asem no. Ifira America na eba Ghana na masen am mo akwacha wudifo no te ye chacha onso mo ye hemfo. Mo ye wicked. Mo sa ankrofo no mo ye curse. Mo ye the reason why Africa for ye slave e wo wiase. They are cursed. Na me come through. In China ye san kwata 70 fru ho. Ye pese ye develop better say China. Na yenso na ye compete we wiase a see element san kwata fo nyina fru na me come through. We don't need them. Omon play robia and all the nonsense are exercise nyina has nothing to do with spirituality. Na me come through. Kana kwata playing. En grof obi friend ho ro ya mba twa hwan na no honam ya twere so obi ya dehye na obi ya akwa. Ye wo wa honam no wo DNA ene wo cells no ya twere gu ho ana. Tingrofo yi paredi wo mo ho so omo de omo ye royals omo ye royal ba bia. Enti Akufo Addo me ka kiro Africa ni bia ma wo pa na Africa ni bia nka hwingu atimu wasika ni bre na wo pesem kumnye a kita wunti na waba ha wabagina so pesa wo kasa no. Obeye nhwehwe ne mu beka say the year of return wo ma wo ba ya ye ba ya yentima asan ama bio no because ye behunu ba bia ni pate a yentim me na me nja kuro papa me ti me metena fini binimu anse ye ba na obi antima asan ama the year of return no obi ansoma wo wa na adu pem creative an kwatatam no e na mon kan kire say nya Ghana fo nkwa na chichi ye ye ba ha the list of nkrofo e chichi omo edo mo ebeye omo nkwa no United Nations ekita list ni nyina Europeans ni kita European Parliament egita list ni nyina omuni me nkrofo e chichi omo na meka me kire omo the number oba America has a United States here close to 80 to 90% eye Nigeria for na gu America has because me hwe ma hwe omo map no ahwe mu data no ba bi omo dugo bia onye Yoruba ni a oye Iboni onye Iboni a oye Hausa onye Hausa Yoruba sa na omo chiche omo gu kuro we say mu o ba ha be speak Nigeria for the asama shawa no mana the asama shi obi ano ada na ora hye wonso wo nananu mu ene di bone obi a wo no me di wachi anza atoto anza wo de nya atwom ene pesem komnya be di akundwa anza no me abeka wa di fua ka akundwa na Ghana intimi developer asa be nya say reparation ye tia reparation ama hwan reparation hwan ye tia ma no ye the reparation ba Africa for mpanyimfo ebe chesika na di sika ye de ba se abusuafo a ye shade ateche wo mo ye omo so mo ye nkoa no ene ye di sika e ba se ba be compensate omo ye calculate sika ye reparations se de ma America nkoa blacks ye wa America na ye more than 20 something trillion dollars afa America sika nyina nti imagine South Africa omo di bi bere ya more than 100 trillion dollars omo ntimi ntua omo calculate ye more than 200 trillion dollars 200 so chen wi asisi kanyina 200 trillion dollars abegina na edisa sika na ba na wo Akufo Addo wonu akogina ho na mo de mo ntwan ne me be bam so no mo ntwan wo na wo ancestors mo na mo paredi mo ho na mo kunavo manya sha da me achechi nipa ekogu mu se yenkoye omo nkoa mo ne mo manya da aje abegina asa kogina se ko pay reparation ja bra hwan wo ko ba reparation ko ma chasi twemben wo fi nipa jimu mon kan tell say ni 50 ni mu ni hanta ni gensem na o kan kana obi amone pa na obi ansoma na Akufo Addo obi anu a wasoma wana ade upem kokoye de awoye no o ni me da nipa so he o wani a medonyame uduru Ghana Accra hwa o ni se no me butu yanso medonyankopon tie mo amuni ani aya me piti mo hwe uduru Accra medonyankopon uduru wa hu se no me butu yanso Africa for you curse I'm telling you. Sa slavery no my video afa sa ade wo ho amanfo antie me amanfo amfa ne serious me say slavery na ye enahwe wo na nanama ba engage participate in slavery abaka se obi abewu agire moja abeje wo nkwa wo ye curse wo be bre masefo be titibini masefo be kwakoye nkwa wo Saudi Arabia ne Kuwait for the rest of your life see agime ena ye nkrofo a yenim se ye pachew yenya nuhu ne yesre se bone a yedi ye no esi de na wo yonko tu bini gina ka tse wo ye special etim koton wo me ye chew do ba ya enkoa eno me ye butu yanse me se uduru continent nso a uhu ze no me butu yanso no me ate se amuntom no ene butu yanso saa ndi butu nipa bi aso kase pa I'm telling you tie di fin aka asase no ne di fin aka anza honhom no enka wo ho ahom no Africa honhom wo ho ankasa they are even the supreme ye can aim Africa no wote aiming Africa no wo but said no we as bia all the four corners but the principal seat Africa aiming no I can aim ra no ni nyina seat Africa no wo esa mbone a ye dinti ne di fia kan ye de aka asase no eni ntina na ye bre no tu di mirika ba ha na reparation ade wo do wa no esa nka tender kura si utrim eba United Nations because una na nam ne di san kwatasem no nka wo ka bi on ka reparation for slave trade na nka nom ye si utim par nka ku ato atene because case na mo de abre nya na ye bre ai ni nti mo adwene nyina ate se mo adwene mu ntim ntenke no bibini ntena se endwene se case ye de case akogina wase wo ye Pentecost ni ye azie ni adom bi wo so kwasia nti unom ye butu so ntu zo ni mu butu so utu bini no akogina wase ye fro obi Jesus na wabewu adise moja bi abewu agye na wa pepa ye mbone ta nkwata sam na amoka nyina ye case bibini o dwene se obi na aba bewu agye wo ade ni moja pepa wo bone ya wo ye case e kana kwa chiro play mo hwa bra ye be ente papa muni wa hunu se ye wo gold ene mi hunu amra mi hunu documentary ye kan Ghana go Ghana ye petra aba be ye case amaye petra other nations ye nya ye de develop no Ghana nko anya bi Ghana ba be ye case ye kan kire se ba ne se ne manya mineral resource mo de end up ba ye case mamo ade bia ye de ye de mani petumpo no mo munya bia be ye case de mamo mo ni gold anan na ye case mamo gold no nya na mo de gold che no mo mfa petro nche mo mfa diamond nche mo de ni na cheche because mo nim nyansa nim de enti ade bia o man bia de di yiye bia no mo de mo ebe pie mo kuro mo be ye case de ma o man no because case da yen so ukuro mo hina no wo so ni nyansa ono to no paradin so oye this ye meboa wo ye joke na mka mkire me mese no me butu mu nyina mo so na mka mkire no me pa butu mo so ankasa na ye di sa abono na efisi di ama ye ho abeton ana answer ye all the contracts ye ba bekam ya kam because ye di bone ya che ya di bone na ye nye ready akogina ho na reparation e di sika ba ya na o ma cha afa e be che sika na gombutum na o ma kokko cha afa reparation ye de ba Akufo Addo na busuafo be che sika na fa mo fi se ni pa jimi na o mo na affect ye se mo musika no na o ma nya hwe na case da so da ye nso kwasiafo ye po bia ma na discuss reparations ya ye de engrofo a omo na affect your families ni ye don mo kwatena asa nya wu wudini a wo na ofiri family bia o klem mu za wo ye royal bibi da so se fe wona na kwasi asema kwa the word na nya nipa o eye bosoma tat no ene ye ne ya copy da toto ye ho tat no eye bosoma de ya moon no na ye fe na nana bosoma wo ga NANA eye na eye oye bosoma na ye fe na sa Ebansan ya just attack na nipa de sene na enslave yen. Ebansan en attack la edema to me powers. ɛyɛ bosome ne yɛfɛ no nana no nana ɛyɛ bosome ne yɛfɛ no saa ɛyɛ bosome ɛne ntina yɛ wiase baabi obi aka nana woka sɛ nana no yɛ akankasa woka sɛ yɛ akankasa asoa ɛyɛ wiase baabi obi aka nana ɛmorɔfo nyinaa aka because ɛyɛ bosome taa na ne yɛfrɛ no dwuma ne yɛfrɛ no ne yɛfɛ no nana ɛna mmorɔfo abɛkɔ yɛfɛ no moon yɛfɛ no nana bosome ne na yɛfɛ no saa yɛbaa no nsan na yɛagye saa ade no ɛde ahyɛ nipa dasa ne nsa na ɔde nipa dasa ne nipa de ne tubini ɛte nipa ti so ɔmo yɛ nana ɛrɛ yɛ agopo wɔde momo to ha wɔde mamu nsua nyansa ma mamu hunu kwan ankorofo yi afa so enselevu ya mese no me butu ya nso sɛ tabam no me butu bibini so ba bia ko bia ntena yɛ brɛ no ntena wiase obi amfa respect mfa ma ntena yɛ asɛresɛrefo yɛ sɛresɛre sika yɛ pakyɛw ansana yɛ nsa akoya no beko curse da yɛn so nipa ya fom mo no yɛmue ya no da oni sɛ slavery nanka bibini nya na adwen sɛ o ɛndene mpo 19th century na na yɛkyekye nkrofo do mo koteki 19th century na yɛ nkwasiafo no egu hɔ na de nkwasiasɛm kura na aka sɛ saa no mo wo ka sɛ bi free yɛn so ahun ni bina motim eni fia motim ahun sɛ na yɛ resources ya yɛbɛto yɛ nyina ahun sɛ afinish ne nyina yɛ sɛ Ghana japade nyina ne nyina asa wode yɛ ntwɛn 100 years na ade ayɛ me ya no sɛ yɛ na yɛ di bɔne ne yɛ ba bewu na yɛ ma enkyiri ba na bebre ɛna ɛha me na nka yɛ ade na nka yɛ nyina yɛ tena se bi ɛna nka 300 years na nka da so te ase ya ɛna nka bɛhunu sɛ deɛ yɛ anka nka bɛte yɛ piga nso we deɛ ɛnkyɛ bia ne ewu na nka deɛ mpɛ sɛ mehwɛ ne sɛ bɔne a yɛ di ɛsɛ sɛ nka yɛtumi tena ase ma yɛtumi nya 200 300 years na nka yɛn witness deɛ yɛba bɛsi ɛna nka ɛna me ɛha me wu a yɛwu ntɛm no ɛna ɛha me ɛna yɛdi bɔne na 35 na picture bɔbɔdan ho 40 50 na picture bɔbɔdan ho ɛsɛ nka yɛtumi nya 300 years na wudi na yɛdu a yɛtutu fam agyapade a yɛnim deɛ de yɛ a yɛsa ne nyinaa no ɛbɛdu den tam no ɔno wa hɔlo agyapade nyinaa gu no kuro mu na ɔde wɔno enslave na yɛ ma nyinaa sa ba yɛ curse ɛno me ne yɛ brɛ unim deɛ di gold ya utu gold ayɛ deɛ njama ne nkyɛ fam unim deɛ di patro ya hwa na ahyɛ so kutu patro utu patro na ayɛ deɛ unim deɛ di patro ya adenti na utu patro no anze utu kyɛ gold no hwɛ Ghana mo hwɛ kuro bi etu gold so bi ayɛ curse Ghana mo hwɛ kuro bi ayɛ si etu gold bi obi ayɛ akura ase ayɛ curse mo hwɛ de yɛkɔ so wɔ hɔ bibia no hɔ ɛkɔ so wɔ hɔ nti mo yɛ curse ankasa nti mo ngyae sɛ mo tutu nneɛma no na mo nim nyansa na mo mfa ngu hɔ mfa ma 200 300 years fo na mo nyusu nneɛma yɛtu ne nyinaa de kyɛ utu a wo de 2% ne de 98% wonya aboa tafa ne nyinaa nti curse ne de enemu formula o ɛwɔ mo ahodo bebree ɛna abegu yɛn so anayɛ brɛ wo hwɛ de wa yɛsi brɛ a ya ankasa yɛtimi twa yɛn ho kontokwa yɛtimi sabotage yɛn ho a mpuntu na yɛ nyinaa ya bɛyɛ akoromfo bibini yɛ koromfo bibini wodi bibini kɔ position ekɔ wura office a na adwen ɛba ne tim ayɛ korono wo fa bibini adwuma ma de bibini kɔ wura position a ade papa bi a ma ne tim sɛ korono no me na ba yɛn so ama yɛn ndon adwen papa mfa ama yɛn ho nti yɛ kuro na yɛ firim no yɛ bɛdwene sɛ yɛbɛyɛ kuro no yɛ ndwene o yɛ sɛi kuro no yɛn sɛi kuro no nti adwene de yitim no nti cash na bia no nti nkita adwen papa yɛn dwene adwen papa ɛna gyimie ne yɛgyimi abibifo yɛgyimi o to na mum yɛnsu anyansa abibifo magyimi o to na munsu anyansa wotu wo paredi mo ho da bɛ na mo nkwasiafo na ka kyerɛ mo sɛ o ma hunu sɛ no me butu yɛn so yɛnyenyi no me ni mfiri yɛn so ɛnɛ yɛpɔ obi a sacrifice na hwie mogya de ama asase a yɛbibifo ne yɛyusu yɛne mu hwie mogya de ma asase a hwɛ yɛ mogya tu gu asase no so yɛn wiase yɛte no yɛne yɛwu mu hwie wu a yɛwu basa yɛse ntimi ntrɛ indiafoɔ abɛsu ayɛ ho chinafoɔ abɛsu ayɛ ho because yɛnim nyansa ɛne yɛto hɔ na nkwasi asɛm ho a bɛso mu hwɛ nnom yɛda yɛn so wakɔ gyina United Nation kɔbisa reparation a abusua bɛɛ na appoint wo Akufo Addo alafi sɛ wo tumi bi wo abusua bi so abusua na yɛbɛto hyɛ wɔn so yɛ wɔn nkwa no wo yɛ spokesperson de mo na da bɛn ne akɔ meeting a sɛ yɛfrɛfrɛ sɛ abusua ni nyinaa na monka mo humbom na monkɔkɔ demand sɛ yɛbɛkyekye ma busuafoɔ kɔyɛ wɔn nkwa nti mo bia nkɔgye ne sika hwana apɔnto Akufo Addo won claim sɛ woyɛ royal wudi no so yɛ frɛ wo nana nti hwana akasa ama no O de no me say I think attend the tisi ni mu ho. O kan kwate sana ka attend the tisi ni mu. O ka say bone, o ka say ya udi bone aka say hwe. Romance na na no me ka kire mo. Pompeo, mo amuni mo no me kire mo Pompeo. De ma Pompeo takura asase volcanic eruption Europe here. Uko Italy a no more largest city na e fe no Pompeo. Na so chan sa Rome no. After Pompeo distraction no mo chiri Rome. Enti Pompeo no bone a omo nanan ba Africa be di Egypt ho be ye na omo sese ye monument sese ye ne ma no. E be for the ancient manuscript here, containing the original text. Na asase ya bufu ye. Na asase ya hye omo dwuro be ate say me the whole Ghana na wahunu kuru kese bi ye wo ho. Na sakura asase no apai na volcano eba o mantima ndwane o ni twifa o munyina so enti uko Italy sese ya sa pompo yi ho no o masese be bereku agogo museum nipa chenchene aye bo nipa ate se bo no because volcanic eruption ni twifa o mo so na aye o mo sa na mo da ho because no mo ancestors bo ni o mo de too much ba kon si e wo Turkey ono so be wipe sa eho ayi area sa nti nature wo kwan afa so nti ye de bra ye agents ye original people nti na ne ye de na ba ye nnome a ye bre wo wi asa no o kuro me hena woni oni nyansa nim de be na onim otwitwa nkwase akotwitwa nnua bi di moja asense ye kundwa amada o mani paso kwa didi o emuja mo nkwase asem no nnome ya Pompeo obetima hwe Pompeo obetima hwe wo Google obetima sua nnome no me na me ka me kire wo nti ye de ebutu ye nso ne wi ase ye ne yekunkum yan before ye come here in Malaysia, Pakistan, Indonesia, those areas no nyasam ketwa. You timi traffic cocaine ni achian ni kum yan Malaysia so mo ebekun, oduguke ebekun, Indonesia ebekun and adwuma ye dia no. I'm come chiro. Because ya be useless and me hunu ko via do mangwani a. O ka say ada na Ghana for yonko munti. Africa for mo ye curse you. Ada na Ghana for yanko Pakistan na Pakistan for send gu Ghana ai ko fia de mama ngani e bisa wonu wa beji na hana o manya o mun krofo je na amanfo common san papa from ho pa Pakistan na Ghana for ko Dubai e ko Kuwait ko Saudi Arabia na Ghana for ko Pakistan ada na won how many Pakistan for ni Saudi for ne gu Ghana anza mo ya case ntimo no me fo no mo bie ma no asem bia mo kan bia ya case asem bia mo ka bia ante na menyanya wana wa be 30 minutes the grant bia 20 minutes time and no ko fia do man wani mi bisa question ahun se wa won sama wo kana kra ye case de ma ho nti etwa se abibifo yetu free ukurom konkurofo ukurom ansa na yiye meboa ansa ye case ansa won tena ase da anwene ye adeshi moja bia pepa ye ne mo wa be yi ya free boni mu a ne wa kira moja be na be yi ha free boni mu moja be na be yi no me free wo so na mo nhwe no me aye bre ene a petrol tanker jatum ewo Ghana na ya paki I think say be tema petrol tanker be brisi nchan yenim bibia awrade nyankopoi awrade yi mo ye moa ene aza mo ye kes ade biara ebe pie wa asase no so ebe tene apa ba be ye kes anze munye litu magukuru litu no ndiama Australia for so Australia for metu litu no mu to tax bia anka yentu mfa nko free anza mo ye kes ade biara ewo wi ase de bo nipa ebe pie ye asase so no ende apa be ye kes de mayen bigo mo ye kes what I two bonkos to be able to or no, your president or no because on behalf of your ancestors. When speaking on behalf of your ancestors. I won't grow for now, you enslave among a you mufis and I don't know a mother bonting. And I'm more young, some more your special people are. Momo de Mona Macasama and hey. Your appointee will be a spokesperson for anybody. It can be my spokesperson. And it's a over bahana who think is that because we are the president, no, open your mouth to say now. First of all, no, we're supposed to call those family members, we're supposed to identify them. So these people, they bought them, they sold their people, they sold them into slavery, they sold them this, they did that. Then they must come together. The whole Africa, we must do that. Now but together, okay, ancestors near you almost are. and it will be trillions of dollars, several of them. I better check. And now we are not saying ni bribe ni buhu se e be chesika o family members ni benya ama na benya sika chenwa o mani mere and internet say ma san kwasiafo godin say obom ko kan reparation bia Africa American ni gina na wo kan and dem mekanase asa ye and ye won kwasiafo aye from ho say o me royals. We don't need those fucking people. They see them as slaves. No, that means says Anyangopon nature forming Bibia no or forming a donko form and crofo. And we are cursed, though innocent black crying. Yes, they are very cursed. They're very, very cursed. But them crofo, madam, kind of catch them. Doctor, we are just waste of the universe time. Yes, very, very. Problems DMs, no. I a lot of problems, but people don't know. You'll be having an answer or question or you're good to go. We joke. We are very joke. Me say, one check here when I want share. The total number of our people are a one when you hear any problems and yeah, what children man, yeah, or how problems are you facing. We are facing so many challenges. And they too. Sanya buruchiri pa ye mubi nya ya ba ya kam ka jose bananka ka nke mu ye mubi nka na ase hihi aburuchi na twitwaje yen ana ye te ha ye timi kasa ndi ye to ha ye kurum hono de ye curse you untimi ntena ho nye ye da eni ntena obi aka se ete se obi atu kwan obi antu kwan anse na obi aye ye nto be hu na obi ka we na hu na nse nkrofo ma advert wo Canada ho pa say Canada obeso ba Canada manfo yeah lot of advert pa Canada opportunity aba na manfo tu kwan manfo ko people are really talking about Canada. We are leaving our country. Isn't this a curse? So was as now to develop us you have to go somewhere to develop their land for them. I'm say we answer aya yen thinking about this you say we a curse. We are curse people. There's see who say no me na die so no me no dey so enemo no emu yetu na no me no so me de me kana kore won te ase afa chuko jam. We are cursed people. I have sent you a message on Messenger for almost 2 weeks but you dey na ope the gifty afi e dey na ohwehwe ope dey e dey na ope wo issue bi wo ho na ope se ope adura na se dey na ope wanya de a ofera obetima atro wa ha and ma ha de cross metima aka solution achiro sisi a ebia na metima aka achiro and that is what it is in the end yes ye be kan nyansa asem achire ye yonko na o mahu me se case da yenso unima me ka achiro abibifoi case butu yenso eni ntina wiase obi amu yen eni ntina ye bre eni ntina nkrofo trimi kura ya adwuma ma yen nkrofo trimi eye sikama nkrofo trimi eye sikama wo trimi nye sikama wo trimi wontimi twitwa nton wo twitwa nte ono nye sika free ni trimi so anze ye case because ye nimi nyanza tie anze wo honam na egita ono aje se wo ye eworo wo honam a honam ba ye some style bi anze ba hu se ukita honam wo ye case eni ntina wo honam no wodi nnuru esra wo ho eworo wo ho no wo ye case ntina wo ye sa anema no enkula we me kan se o medi agro ha na wo mama wo okay me wia me come training ka chem so mo shedam ho mini ho no so mo tutu bibia agudam ho mini ho na meteka mu a me ye teachings no me ko na o makeka bibia odam ho nyina aye na atete ne ma nyina gu ho me kan se o medi agro ha na nka ma hu o mo so o medi agro no o ma sheda shedam ho me ko no ma scatter dam ho nyema nyina enye iso I'm always sad when time I go to Ghana there. I'm suffering from BP pa, it's very high. Who BP pacho. So bulu ya pacho so bulu. What do you see chile fra wa say no? So bulu mo amondi no so bulu ton amode enum de so bulu no. Enya dura ye de see chile ka ho. Kope so bulu. Na pe nunum. Na pe nyanya. Na pe nkoda board nunum nyanya nkoda board ye. Ena so bulu ena obeka ni nyina bom pacho upa na odi nyamidu aka ho ena na obenoa so bulu no usa wonsa ma na odi afra ahahama na aka no ahahama aka no pa ubetima si na wa ne pada na wa hata na wa konika na ya wo uye ne bebre ya oba usa atre ba kusi That is ubulu no one sama na de aka ho na wan no afra adwo na wanom ubenom every day pa wo pressure na wo high ubenom na anapa animiri ebetima ma wo da wo pressure no stabilize ade dey stabilize pressure na ma kire wo no. I was laughing when he was reading it's like he believe in democracy and that man no very funny president. And I don't blame him, bro. You know how special kids behave. Yes. Or you joke, Miss Wayek, I think attend the city team or can't anchor some. Oh, answers I would do Abidia would disseminate the nomi abato yanso. I'm a nay brave as a now I could just say, oh, you have a reparation. You emphasize can now won't some fussy canning. I got any paging. Aye, let's say, so I was your phone. Ye be ye mosano. A year Moshaman, ya at the chim ancestors. More speaking up, tongue. You guys need to speak up. Yeah, mo busuafo ne mo adehia ye de mo ba ha e ba Ghana the same kwasiafo na ya cheche mo tonton mo no eni asa kwachia mo ena mo huka na mbu yefu no sa kwasiafo na ya cheche mo na nanom etonton mo na nanom eye o mo nkoa no to bi fra America ha ba se bia Steve Heavy ba yi na okochia wo ade ntena se okochia wo hene ade ntena abusuya ya cheche wo mo no ya mo nkwachachi asa abusuya ni bi when they are coming out hena kwacha no ono na ka hu bia cheche mo ya monkoa ya dent na monko kwacha sa it's that you guys should see them as the enemy forever as say omo ya mo perpetual enemy ye won krofo a omo abusua ya cheche wo mo enti so bi ba nimdie ni bi ba na o America na nesa ankrofo na ye bitiri omo no aba ya adefo ni aba ya sikafo a adent na de omo ba Ghana ye mo nko oba bi omo free na omo kwa wudifo a ye konavo wetemorofo no. And then I'm doing what kind of a curse is this? This is a serious curse, I'm telling you. If you see, you know me free. Yes, here reparation. Akufo Addo, won't mean speaking mobia. Aza, unye nyamiu na unye tumi uni tumi mobia so. Wono uye president keke si do president. Ye wa abusuya no wo ho, abusuya ye chechi wo mo no. Omo na say about together. No mo consider omo ho. Gift ye fi de mbobo odi no. Be say ko peso obolo no omo ton. So say the best on the boy because he say Ghana nema e boy no to so bolo bebre ya wa je don wa pepe dem bobo yi o pem koda board ya ha na wo tete ya na wa hohoro ho kama pa o ho kama fa guo kaka na nsuo nim firi ho na enwo anti the same day no o pa ba pruma na nsuo na firi mu e kakra na wasi obesi afra nyanya no eni nunum ene nkura board ya nyanya nunum na we na me kan so nyame dua no to ye ni bebre na wo de aka ho nti wo hata na wo kama wo afa ko nika na nyam na nye pure powder no na wo be sa atrese na wasa so buro no won sama na wo de afra na wano anapa animiri de bia ya sa o ya o pressure no bebe fam nti that's why it is my sister to suffer from diabetes and cholesterol very serious and diabetes catching us say onjai ade biara ye femfrem de onjai pa no di onjai asichiri nyama ade biara asichiri wom ene sese kura bayere kwa na manini bayere obedi kura kakire bi obedi mu a emo kokko no siremu de ni bi no oni ko obedi an nsamase abobo no rant se nsamase na enwura ne vegetables ne bebre na no wadi na afi nso nipa na o diabetes no ka che ne se ompe nim leaf ye onfan kanyanya ho nim leaf nyanya nyamidua nunum na onfa abo the efan bitter leaf obetim di we nyina aka ho to onya nim leaf bitter leaf no ompe bitter leaf ni bebre no ompe nim leaf ni bebre no ompe nyanya bebre no onfan kan nunum no ho no ompe enfan kanyamidua ho bacho onye ni nyina bebre na onya ne powder so dem kira obi the same thing no so anapa obenoa anoma no miro obenoa anom sa cholesterol ne diabetes nyina ebeba fam ebe ye firi ho ya ana open so a obetima akoma yanka okwa awozo ope nantwi abonyo no ka che chinchinka no se open nantwi abonyo no nti kum nantwi a atams o mutugu ebum so ho mu yuso de ya aduro ogibia oba obetime dia afra hahama no aye ne moto ompe ne moto nzo a ana papa pacho u hitinzio na de ai ubeti abonyono na we fi abonyono na gu nsu mu na wanom se akokɔ nso so akokɔ abonyono nso betima amene akokɔ abonyono eno so eboa yeah. I said the president is a crown or just a joke. So our papa they were very joke. He's like speaking like he hold power forever. And Ghana, I may say, yeah, problem and I can reparation. And you would in your family. May say we could see a chila America from Kanye Puno Hakurasi. We mon Tom Tom over Yamon, one quasi fumo. She need pebu, you know, we moon no Momton Tomo when I number your monguano. Yam fam my pa and a second come so. Yeah, we say to me, a kind of cry, young kind of cry, your home toy, nipper. And see it to me kind of cry. And no man way and so in free and so. Young yes, I didn't never pa, I'm telling you. And Crofwa must sabotage and might be before your fiasno. Is see eliminate women from the surface of Africa and this I in your home toy and da. And the number one moja mudi nemo. And into China, we would dini now come nipani so more, you be coon. Look what happened. China for no more via honcho. And that's what it is. Due to another once you answer, then you have a lot of issue. And that's what it is. Let's see, pass for the asemo. Asem. And here was ya. I'm from Musiana. I'm a training. I drew be crowd, don't so. I mean, I don't see so. The Messiana yatanazo. Mr. Martin Atanazo, baby come training into Mamma Akufo Addo, there were a case. And then I did be ordering Sabe can be a case. As a cam mum, be ordering Sabe can be a best say. And into Namamu Amiran or better no. I'm a catching mu play. And now, Cassie, you go Africa for us, and your case a kit. Cassie Guians, and can he pad the uncouba we as a sanka out to me and join social. But I bring no me away and so. No me, that damn the religion. Be Timo, ena nyamia ya somo no, ena nyamiko kuruko, ena urade, ena ono da bio nyankopon curse na den so obi anyi mfiri ho. Curse butu yon so. O yam krofo a engage with slavery. E de bone aba yon so akeka nkwatasem. Ai empa info no a engage in slavery. The same ena krofo mo sa in slavery yan. Akufo Addo se mo nkoto no ne. Di pay demonstrate se na ma move tan na oye no. Ghana nye ye wacheche wo magugum ma ya cheche nkrofo bebiri ne Akufo Addo we was so party democracy gina me say ze ka tender city team ada mama onyama ba Akufo medimo so enyam nkoa wo no nipa bia anya akoa nipa bia na o ye slave manipa na yonko nipa unye slave e ma o san kwase system no me say eliminate furu obi ka say o ye royal na o ye slave am so betima bonasum in this 21st century. Nipa bia o bia so oba wanim na o say o no oye royal na o ye slave a utima bonasum fa na kwase yanko kwase to asia za obi ye royal amfam si a e beto aso twedi amponka mu nyina ho meda mu nyina ase sister afi bi ya meda ase ene o stars ya o de ma meda mu nyina ase mo amohwe mo joy donko mechiao ahmed juraya ahope so ho ye gift ya fi na ho to san badino bobo Mr. Marco fellas I hope so here by peace we want to send this say Christopher Agu I hope say we ho here chia wale to say Perry I hope say won so ho here o bare san de oda so wa adwumam ya tama o test me no ana frame no ya ma hwe tiama to say me chache mu nyina mo mo so nya twede amponka ye be kina so ye be to aso wo kina ina men kan se na mo nsere amen kan se manura amze me ko training Roma so paare nkwase afogu kuru mu na nse me kwa me ja me ka no e wo ha na manante because obia me ko training mu ntwe e be 1 mile away from me nti me nante kakra bia na maduru ho 1 mile na maduru nti me nam kwan ho a me kwa se ka bi dimri kadi o swa me huna na wa pake manim chu me nam kwan no chansa wa pake ho duru ho a wa ro ne glass se obi sa me question no bisa me say o hwehwe dollar general te me nche me bia dollar na me say dollar general de enim ha de bi ni ho to won sa na chi na dollar general wo you know ha do you want to hang out you want to chill old man bi na hwe ni zam hwe na wo kire na poma bi utimutum ze we okoto pa poma bi da o mo evil people I'm telling you sa ankrofo no do you want to hang out do you want to chill na poma no na hwe ni zam se ada me ma bin che wo no okoto awo ye no me ma bin che wo mo tumi che wo kwasia I just say, do you wanna hang out? Do you wanna chill out? I wanna go out with them. So I'm saying, I be say, if I'm I'm saying, I'm come training. Hana nipa ejina park no so bebree. I'm going for ball. I sa netball bebree wo. Omo netball no ma bebree nti. Omo be ni wan ya park ni wan ya. Am for be bobo netball ho pa. I'm saying, why na me ko? Oh really? I wanna hang out with them. Say, unu twa asere. Wasia to utumu bini. Oh, do true no quarter bow ham abajina can be just you wanna hang out with people quasi too. A Ghana come to piano sumpa. And then I quite see a penny now or jiname or chala. Oh, dick me go through my name. I'm in India kind of go anymore. Oh, to a camunam, quamenam quanting. Who dispute a swam who drew a new man now or breaky car no jinaya. But you know, chew. I grew glasses or no back at them. I think I'm using a zoom crowd or animal. Quasi a two. Ah, it was a devil. We can imagine who feeper. And these people are possess. For people to do that, and I almost possess, I'm telling you. I only a bay for almost possess. Now, I pomano done the kind of answer. Oh, pomano and before boom matches and make it to me, meet my boo pomano match. I got see you. Tika mo say you wanna hang out to bro ni Jimmy for kwasia ogo kwa ni tusu so moja awotimi manoko ni tukuruze pacha otimi manenko simple as ABC abusia ebeto aso ate me de mo nyina ABC ha twedi amponka mo nyina ho bye bye.